Hello, and welcome to another quiet journey into sleepy history. You are safe here. You do not need to do anything right now. Just relax. Let your eyes close gently. Let your jaw unclench. Let your shoulders drop. Take a slow breath in and a long, slow breath out. There is nothing else to do, nothing to worry about. The only thing that matters right now is rest. Tonight's story is not exciting. It is not loud or fast. It is slow, simple, and ordinary. The kind of story your brain can drift through. The kind of story that does not ask you to remember anything. We are going to talk about something so basic, so everyday, that you probably never gave it a second thought. Toilet paper. Yes, the roll you pull from every day. The one tucked on the wall or resting on a shelf. The one you reach for without thinking. But this simple invention has a long and quiet history. A story that stretches across thousands of years. A story of leaves, stones, sponges, and scrolls. And it all begins long, long ago. Thousands of years before soft paper rolls existed, people still had to find ways to clean themselves. In those early days, they used what they had around them. Smooth river stones, large leaves, bundles of grass, bits of cloth, water from nearby streams. It was not fancy. It was not marketed or packaged, but it worked, and it was enough. In ancient Greece, people used small ceramic discs called passoi. These were smooth stones, and some of them had names scratched into them. Some historians believe those names belonged to people the users disliked. A strange little detail, but one that quietly reminds us how human people have always been. In ancient Rome, things were slightly more advanced, but still very basic by today's standards. Public toilets were common. Long rows of stone seats, no stalls, no privacy, just an open room. And for cleaning, a sponge attached to a stick. It was called a tersorium. After each use, it was rinsed in vinegar or salt water and left for the next person. Yes, it was shared. Yes, it sounds unpleasant now, but for the Romans, this was normal. It was part of everyday life. No one questioned it. There is something calming about that, about how people accepted what they had, used what they could, and moved on with their day. Now let us travel east to ancient China. In the 6th century, a scholar wrote that he would not use paper that had writing on it to clean himself. This small note is one of the earliest signs that paper was being used for this purpose. By the 14th century, during the Yuan dynasty, the emperor's court was producing hundreds of thousands of sheets of special paper each year, made just for toilet use. Some sheets were as large as 2 feet across. They were soft, sometimes perfumed, and made only for the royal family. Imagine that. Whole teams of workers preparing special paper just for one man. A quiet, careful process. Sheets stacked gently. A delivery made without noise. Even this simple act turned into a quiet ceremony that it is easy to imagine the hush of that palace hallway, the sound of paper rustling, the soft footsteps of servants. Even in something as ordinary as this, there was dignity, stillness, respect. In many cultures around the world, water was the main method of cleaning. In India, in Islamic societies, and across many parts of Asia and Africa, water was seen as the purest way. People used small pitchers, simple scoops, clay pots. Today, these have evolved into handheld sprayers and bidet systems. But the idea is the same: quiet, personal, clean. There is no single right way. There never has been. Each place used what was available. Each culture followed its own customs. And that brings us to Europe during the medieval period. Here, paper was too valuable to waste. People used straw, hay, cloth, sometimes moss. In the American colonies, corn cobs were popular. Yes, corn cobs. They were saved, cleaned, and reused. Later on, when newspapers and magazines became common, many people kept them in the outhouse. Pages were torn out and used one by one. There were even catalogs designed for this dual purpose. One page for reading, the next for wiping. Simple, practical, nothing wasted. Picture a small wooden shack just outside a farmhouse. A quiet space, a soft breeze coming through the cracks in the wood, a page of a newspaper flapping gently, and someone alone in peace. No phones, no rush, no noise, just a few moments of solitude. These quiet habits continued for centuries, until one day, everything began to change. But that is a story we will continue soon. For now, you are resting, breathing slowly, letting your thoughts drift like clouds. The story will wait. There is no hurry. Sleep is near. Now that your breathing is steady and your thoughts are quiet, let us continue the story of something so ordinary. It fades into the background. Toilet paper. We ended with a quiet wooden shack on a gentle piece of land, the rustle of newspaper, the wind through the slats. A person alone, not rushed, taking care of something simple. But let us now move forward to the middle of the 1800s. This is where paper truly began, its journey into every home. In the year 1857, a man named Joseph Gaiety introduced the first commercial toilet paper in the United States. It came in flat sheets, not rolls, not scented. Each sheet had his name printed on it. Gaiety's medicated paper, infused with aloe, sold as a health product, promised to prevent piles, which was an old word for hemorrhoids. He believed in it. He truly thought he was helping people. But the world was not quite ready. Most people were still using newspapers, and they saw no reason to pay for something they already had for free. So Gaiety's paper did not sell well. But sometimes, the world needs time to catch up with a good idea. A few decades later, in the 1890s, two brothers from Philadelphia began selling toilet paper on a roll. Their names were Clarence and Irvin Scott. They formed the Scott Paper Company, and unlike Gaiety, they did not print their name on every sheet. Their paper was plain, simple, unbranded, and that, oddly enough, made people feel more comfortable. Slowly, the idea of paper rolls became normal. Quietly, one bathroom at a time, toilet paper began to spread across the country. By the early 1900s, most middle-class homes in America had indoor plumbing, and with plumbing came the need for something soft, disposable, and easy to flush. Manufacturers listened. They made the paper softer, more absorbent, more comfortable. Soon came the 2-ply version, then 3-ply, even quilted designs. Some were infused with lotion, some with scent. Some came in pastel colors to match bathroom tiles. Entire sections of stores became dedicated to this quiet little product. Toilet paper was no longer just a necessity. It was a business, an industry, an aisle of choices. But even as it evolved, it never asked for attention. It remained humble, always useful, always waiting on a small metal holder or tucked away in a cabinet. Now let us look at something people rarely consider: the psychology of toilet paper. Some people hang it so the paper rolls over the top. Others prefer it rolling underneath. This simple difference has sparked quiet arguments in households across the world. One study even suggested that people who prefer the paper over are more likely to be leaders. Those who prefer it under are more likely to be careful and detail-focused. Perhaps it is silly, but perhaps, like everything else in life, even the smallest choices hold quiet truths. Now let us travel across the ocean to Japan. Here, the toilet paper story has taken a slightly different path. Japanese bathrooms are often calm, clean, and filled with gentle technology. Many toilets there include built-in bidets, heated seats, soothing music, soft lighting. The experience is not rushed. It is not loud. Even public toilets are designed with care. And yet, toilet paper remains present, often two rolls side by side, with signs gently reminding you not to take more than you need. In some places, you even find paper designed to dissolve faster, to protect older plumbing. There is a kind of grace in that quiet consideration. It is not flashy, it is not grand, but it is kind. It respects the user, it respects the system, it respects the moment. This is the part of toilet paper most people never think about: how even the smallest objects can hold a little dignity. Back in the Western world, something happened in recent years that reminded us all of toilet paper's true value. A global event, a pandemic. Stores emptied, shelves were bare, and what disappeared first? Toilet paper. People rushed to buy it, to stock it, to hold on to it, as if it were gold. Why? Because deep down, we know its importance, its quiet role, its silent loyalty. We never thank it, we never admire it, but the moment it is gone, we feel it. That empty roll, sitting on a holder, the quiet panic of reaching for something that is not there. That is when we remember toilet paper matters. Even now, there are luxury brands that sell it in boxes, wrapped in patterned paper, subscription services that send eco-friendly rolls to your door each month, bamboo options, recycled options, minimalist designs. Toilet paper has become both invisible and essential. We rarely talk about it, but we always use it. And as we prepare to end this chapter of our story, you might notice how your thoughts have softened, how your body has settled, because this story is not about the paper. It is about the pause, the slow rhythm of human invention, the small comforts we build into daily life. You are resting now. The world outside has gone quiet, and your mind has softened enough to let the story drift back in. The paper, the roll, the quiet invention that stayed in the background while the world kept moving forward. Let us return to it. We left off in a time when toilet paper was starting to gain attention. New brands were forming, styles were changing, colors, textures, and thickness all began to matter. Now let us look closer at the emotional side of toilet paper. You may not have noticed, but people feel strongly about it. Which brand to buy? What softness is best? What size of roll fits right? Some prefer plain white. Some prefer gentle pastels. Some want recycled. Others want luxury. But no matter what you choose, there is one common thread. We all want to feel clean. We all want comfort. And we want it quietly, without fuss. That is what toilet paper gives us. A private moment of care. A soft ending to a necessary task. In many ways, it is the quietest invention, with the biggest daily role. Now let us look at something very few people talk about: toilet paper in space. Astronauts cannot use a regular bathroom. There is no gravity, no way for water to flow naturally. So NASA designed special systems, toilets that use suction, airflow, and containment units. And toilet paper? Yes, they still use it, but it is sealed, compact, and dry. Each sheet is measured and packed. Even something as simple as that becomes an engineering project. When you are floating in zero gravity, there is something beautiful in that. How even in space, far from Earth, we carry the need for small comforts. Even on the space station, toilet paper stays with us. Back on Earth, toilet paper has also found its way into art, jokes, and advertising. You have seen the mascots, the cartoon bears, the rolling puppies, the soothing music in the background. Why? Because toilet paper, though silent in daily life, holds a strong emotional meaning. It signals safety, cleanliness, routine. And when that routine is disturbed, we notice. Think of the last time you reached for the roll and found it empty. That pause, that moment of stillness, a little frustration, a little surprise, something so small, but it matters. That is how woven it is into your life. And now we go to another part of the world to see how different cultures view this same task. In many Scandinavian countries, bidets are becoming more common, but still, toilet paper is standard. They tend to choose simple designs. No strong scents, no bright colors, just soft, plain paper. In a quiet, clean bathroom, with white walls, light wood, and a small window letting in gentle light. There is something peaceful about that design. Minimal, functional, no clutter. Even the toilet paper sits quietly, on a metal arm, or in a small cabinet, out of the way, never loud. Now think about your own bathroom. You probably never thought of it as a place of history, but it is. Every home carries the past. In small details, the design of the toilet, the brand of soap, and yes, the kind of toilet paper you choose. These details do not seem like much, but they tell stories about what you value, what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel at home. There is no right or wrong choice, only the quiet question: does this make me comfortable? And if the answer is yes, then that is enough. Now let us go to a time, not too long ago, a moment when the world slowed down. During the early days of the pandemic, toilet paper was suddenly on the news. People rushed to buy it. Stores could not keep up. Shelves emptied faster than they could be restocked. Why? Because when people are scared, they reach for what gives them control. Toilet paper became a symbol, not of luxury, but of preparation, of comfort. And while some bought more than they needed, most simply wanted to feel secure. It is strange to think about, a small roll of paper, bringing people a sense of peace in a time of global fear. But that is what it did. And even now, years later, we remember that feeling of walking through a store, of noticing the empty shelf, of hoping the next shipment would arrive soon, of checking online, of asking friends, "Do you have any?" Something so basic suddenly became precious. And when the rolls returned, the world exhaled quietly. Because even though we joke about it now, in those quiet moments, it really did matter. This small invention had become a lifeline, and it reminded us that no matter how big the world feels, sometimes the smallest things carry the most weight. Now let your thoughts slow down. There is more to the story, but not everything must be known tonight. By now, your body has settled. Your mind is no longer busy. You are simply here, listening, following the soft rhythm of an ordinary story. And that is what makes it so perfect for sleep. Because there is no mystery to solve, no plot to follow, just a slow, quiet path through time. And tonight, we continue to follow the path of something you have touched 1,000 times, but never really thought about. Toilet paper. It is easy to forget how recent some things are. We think they have always been there, but really, they are still new in the larger picture of history. For most of human life, toilet paper did not exist. Only in the past 150 years has it become common. And even today, not everyone uses it. In many countries, water is still the preferred way. In others, people use a combination of both. But in the places where toilet paper is common, it is often taken for granted. You reach for it without thinking. Use it, throw it away, and move on. But now that we are looking closer, you can see it more clearly. Its design, its purpose, its silence. Have you ever noticed how a new roll feels? Soft, unbroken, perfectly shaped, wrapped in paper or plastic, waiting on a shelf, ready for its quiet job. And when you replace an old roll with a new one, there is something satisfying about it. A small task, but it feels like order, like care. A reminder that even the smallest routines are acts of comfort. Now let us look at how toilet paper is made. Not many people know. Most rolls begin as large sheets of pulp. The pulp comes from trees, often softwood, like spruce or pine. These trees are ground into chips, then broken down into fibers, using heat and water. The result is a thick, soft paste. That paste is spread into thin sheets, dried on large rollers, then pressed and layered. Sometimes they are embossed with small patterns, not just for decoration, but to help with absorption. The paper is then rolled onto huge spools, cut into smaller rolls, and packaged. A simple process, but done with care. In modern factories, this happens quickly. Thousands of rolls per hour, each one wrapped, boxed, and shipped. But if you slow it down in your mind, you can imagine the soft sound of the sheets unrolling, the quiet hum of the machines, the stacks of white rolls, lined up neatly, waiting to be sent out. It is peaceful in its own way, like watching snow fall. Soft, quiet, repetitive. And in the end, those rolls go out into the world, into homes, schools, hospitals, offices, anywhere people need them, all made from the same trees, all shaped by the same hands. That is the hidden life of this small invention. Now let us move to another topic, something people rarely think about: the invention of the toilet paper roll holder, the device on your bathroom wall or built into your cabinet. was not always there. At first, toilet paper came in flat sheets. People stacked them in boxes or kept them in drawers. When rolls became more common, people needed a better way to store them. So the wall-mounted holder was created. Simple, functional, just a small bar on two ends, designed to let the roll spin. Some are plastic, some are metal, some spring-loaded, some built into elegant fixtures, but all serve the same purpose: to hold the paper, to keep it clean, and to let it move gently, sheet by sheet. It is a small design, but a perfect one. And now, some modern versions have even gone farther. They hold spare rolls. They include shelves for phones or books. Some are heated. Some are hidden inside furniture. But in the end, the goal remains the same: to make something ordinary just a little easier. That is the beauty of good design. It disappears into the background. It lets you live your life without thinking too much. That is also what makes a story like this so perfect for sleep, because it reminds you how much of life happens quietly, without noise, without drama. Toilet paper does its job without asking for praise. It waits. It helps. Then it is gone. And yet, your day would not feel complete without it. There is comfort in that, in knowing that some things stay the same. Simple, reliable. You are almost asleep now. The room is still. Your mind is quiet. Only the soft rhythm of the story remains. This is the final chapter, a slow and simple ending to a story that asked very little of you. It is the story of toilet paper, a story with no hero, no villain, just a humble roll, doing its job in the background of everyday life. Let us begin this last part by looking at where things are today. Toilet paper is everywhere now. Homes, schools, hotels, offices, airplanes, trains. Everywhere people go, it follows. And yet, it remains silent. Always there, never loud. Some brands now focus on sustainability. They use bamboo instead of trees. They avoid plastic wrapping. They plant trees for every pack sold. People are starting to ask more about what they use every day. Not just price, but softness, recycled content, where it comes from, where it goes. The conversation is growing, but still, it stays gentle. No one argues loudly about toilet paper, and perhaps that is why it is so perfect for a sleepy story, because it teaches us something we rarely notice, that the most important things are often the smallest. Now think about how many rolls you have used in your life. You probably cannot count, because you never needed to. They were always there. In hotels, wrapped in paper. In guest bathrooms, neatly folded. At gas stations, a little rough, but always available. You have torn sheets. Without thinking, you have replaced rolls. You have seen the cardboard tube and tossed it away. But now, you see the quiet history behind it. The people who invented it. The factories that made it. The cultures that shaped it. The shelves that emptied when the world grew scared. But now, you see the quiet history behind it. The people who invented it. The factories that made it. The cultures that shaped it. The shelves that emptied when the world grew scared. All of it connected by a roll of soft paper. It is easy to forget how far something so small has come, from stones in ancient Greece, to sponges in Rome, to silk paper in ancient China, to corn cobs in early America, to scented, quilted, two-ply rolls in your bathroom today. It has been a long journey, but what makes it special is how unnoticed it has been. And maybe that is the lesson this story wants to leave you with. Not everything needs to be important to be valuable. Not everything needs to be praised to be meaningful. Some things, like toilet paper, just do their job quietly, faithfully, every single day, and we are better for it. Now take one last breath, slow and deep. Feel your body fully at rest. There is nothing left to do, nothing more to learn tonight. The story is complete. The role has reached its end, and so has the day. Sleep well. You have earned it. There is nothing more to do, no thoughts to follow, no decisions to make. You are safe, you are calm, and you are ready to rest. Let your breath become soft and steady. Let your muscles stay loose and warm. Let the silence wrap around you like a blanket. Sleep is here now, close enough to touch, and it will hold you through the night. From all of us at SleepySide TV, good night, sleep well, and we'll see you again. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more sleeping pills like this.